three ways that great leaders manage and resolve conflicts. And where I want to start this off with is this slide and concept that we call in the 10. And by in the 10, we mean, around 10% of life generally is stress. It's difficult. We're being challenged. It's intense, where it may be a conflict with someone. And, in leadership roles, and that applies to everyone because everyone is a leader, whether you think you are or not, whether it's a friend, a family member, child, a colleague, this always applies. So in the 10% of life, when it's challenging, that's when we're being tested. That's when it can be hard to, even reach a resolution. It can be hard to find some common ground if you're in a conflict with someone. But it's also in the 10% of life where we find all of our growth, all of our lessons. It's how we improve. It's how we get better. We don't grow in the 90, when life is easy. It's easy to be new you. It's easy to think a new thought. It's easy to apply a new tool. When it's easy, it's a little bit more challenging in the 10 and in conflict moments. The metaphor I've always loved is races aren't won in a tailwind. Everyone's going as fast as the wind is blowing in a tailwind. It's only in the headwinds where, how well you cut the sail and how well you manage and deal with the adversity is what wins the race. So it's very, very important as a leader, being conscious of these in the 10 moments to, show up differently, show up new, apply one of these new tools that I'm going to be giving you here tonight. And remember, keep in mind that when you're presented with a conflict, it's this opportunity. It's an opportunity for growth. It's an opportunity to maybe even strengthen a relationship. We have a saying here that legendary relationships require legendary, you guessed it, conflicts. Now, it can't just stop there. You can't just have conflicts all the time, because with that is legendary conflict resolution. And that's what we're focused on tonight, some resolution strategies. But it really starts in, keeping this and staying firm, trusting this process that, less conflicts isn't really the goal. That's not what we're after. This webinar, these tools, isn't about how do you have less conflicts. Really, it's more of the flip side, because if less conflicts is your outcome, is your intention, well, guess what? You don't get the lessons, you don't get the growth, you don't get those opportunities. So, welcome the opportunity. Get excited about the opportunity. And this is a moment for you to show up as a leader, show up differently with someone. So that's rule number 1. Now, I said in the email too, I was going to give you the basis of really 99, and you could argue all arguments and conflicts is simply this. And a lot of times we hear, when we ask clients or ask an audience, what's the source of your conflict or arguments? We might hear communication problems. We're not communicating well. Maybe it's you just I don't like the other person. Lots of different reasons that you'll hear. Communication problems is probably the most common, but that's not really true. A lot of times, most of the time, you're communicating very, very well. It's just that what's being communicated is I'm right and you're wrong. And I'll listen to your point and I'll wait till you're done so I can tell you why you're wrong and I'm right, and give you my opinion, give me my thoughts, and I'm just listening to respond. And But you look at these arguments and think to maybe some recent arguments that you've had. Did you have this kind of position? You're just really out to, prove the other person wrong and support your position as to why you're right. Now, we're seeing this so much lately, especially on social media, when it's just text and it's a lot of back and forth, and there's not a healthy discussion. There's not a healthy discord going on. And so underlying a lot of the conflicts out there is this very simple thing. I'm right, you're wrong, and so we have some fun little memes, some quotes. Sheldon, right? Don't you think if I were wrong, I'd know it? But it's important to know that what you're arguing about, the data of the conversation, you may be arguing points for sure, but underlying all of that is this very thing. Now, how do you get around that? It's this very simple tool. And this comes out of our neural communications tools. There's 9 things here. I'm giving you a couple tonight, but this very simple rule: it's better to be kind than it is to be right. If you just take that one simple rule and you live by that, and that's how you approach all of your conflicts, your arguments, I tell you right away, you're going to notice a drastic change in your interactions. If you personally, it doesn't even have to be the other person, get past the I have to be right, and just listen, just understand, just be kind, just have compassion, empathy. Listen, truly listen, understand what they're talking about. I'll tell you, you could leave this webinar, just do this one thing, and you're already going to greatly improve your leadership skills. And so I wanted to bring this up. I actually was going to save this for last, but I have a bonus tool here. This isn't one of the 3, but this comes out. We have a whole course and program on this, on leadership, and we call this the 6 master steps to lasting change and transformation. But this is the process that we follow when we're coaching with a client, when we're training other people in the system how to be an extraordinary leader. They're expected to know this 6-step process inside and out. And I'm not going to cover it tonight because, again, we could spend days, weeks on just this alone. But if you look at the very first step, discover the deepest truths and patterns and creations of the individual. And right under that, what I'm going to say is going to go with your kind versus right tool. What will help it with that is if you get out of your model of the world and get into theirs and truly understand where they're coming from, their view of the world. Why do they think this way? Why are they saying this to me? Why are they angry right now? Why are they upset? What is the deeper root cause of the issue, of what we're conflicted about? When you really take this position and you're, again, getting out of your model of the world and trying to tell this person all about your model of the world and how you think it should be and your point, and let me tell you even more. No, you don't get it. Let me tell you why I'm right. No, just really get into theirs, understand their thought patterns. Now, this takes a little bit more training. Again, we go deeper into this in our black belt leadership courses, or 3-day leadership courses, even understanding how do you, because you'll see all these other points. These are some cues for you that allow you to do that. Really understanding a person better than they understand themselves, because maybe they don't even know why they're so upset or angry or the way that they are or presenting in the conflict. And it's your job as a leader to figure that out, especially when you're not even, let's say, part of the conflict. You're just a mediator. You have 2 friends, 2 employees, 2 kids, whatever the situation is, or even a group larger than just two, a group of people, you're listening for cues, programming cues. How can I reach this person? How can I talk to them at a deeper level? It really starts here. So, letting go of your need to be right, having compassion, having kindness, knowing that that's already going to immediately diffuse a situation, diffuse an intense conflict. And then think about it. When you're kind to someone, they kind of let their guard down, right? You're going to be able to have better rapport with them. You'll connect better. So that was, again, step 2, but this will help with this as well. If you just focus on getting into their model of the world, trying to understand them even better. Now, number 3, and again, this comes out of our neural communication tools as well. And so you've heard the golden rule, right? It's in many different schools of thought, many different forms, but generally it comes in the form of treat others the way that you would like to be treated. Now, it sounds nice. It's not a bad rule, but really think about this. Treat others the way you would like to be treated. I just told you, get out of your model of the world, as a great tip. And if you're in your model of the world trying to, treat someone in your model of the world that you would like to be treated, and you're not really in their model, there's some potential challenges that can arise. And let me give you an example of this. So this actually comes out of our legendary relationship work. And of course, as we cover this as content, it's not ours. It's a great book. It's a very easy, quick read if you ever want to get it. It's the 5 love languages. And here they are: words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. So one of the issues that you find, especially in, a romantic relationship, on top of the first rule that I told you, that basis of most arguments is, let me tell you why I'm right, you're wrong. This is another thing, because a lot of times 2 people aren't speaking the same language. And in a romantic relationship, if, let's say, my language is words of affirmation, I just want to be told that you love me. I just want you to tell me how awesome I am. Just tell me all these great words of affirmation. If that's what I love, if that's how I feel love, how I receive love, but you or the person I'm interacting with loves to, receive gifts, could come in the form of flowers, necklace, taking you out to a dinner, any kind of gift, if that's your love language, and I'm trying to resolve a conflict, I'm trying to tell you I care about you, I love you, but I'm speaking my language, I'm busy giving you words of affirmation because that's what I think in my model of the world, that's what I want. But I don't really understand. I don't get that you really like to receive gifts. Well, yeah, there's going to be a barrier, a language barrier. I mean, you're not going to feel it as much. So, back to our golden rule, treat others the way that you would like to be treated, or speak to others the way that you want to be spoken to. Yeah, it's not the highest form of the rule that exists. And that's why this is called the pyramid rule or the platinum rule. Do unto others now becomes as they would do unto them. Do unto others as they would do unto them. So again, you're in their model of the world. You're resolving a conflict by, oh, I know that they love acts of service. So, I'm going to do something for them. I'm going to take a job for them. I'm going to do some, work for them. I'm going to take the garbage out, or I'm going to, clean the house up. So you really have to get into the person's model of the world, understand what language they speak, what they like, what drives them, what hurts them, what, maybe it was something that you said that triggered something in their model of the world. Could be, something that their father said to them for a long time, and, they have a terrible relationship with them and you had no idea. But when you really understand either your people, that you're leading, your employees, you should understand your family already very well enough, understand their family of origin. That's probably the easiest place, to lead. But with friends, this is where you really get to have deeper conversations, get beneath the surface level stuff, really understand, tell me about yourself. Like, tell me about your family. Where are you from? What are your dreams? What are your fears? And you don't even have to have a full-blown, model of the world that a lot of you here have done, that 5-page document where ends up being 20 plus pages. Now you could do that. It's a great thing to do if you are leading a team or you're working with someone one-on-one. You could even do a shortened model of the world, but you can get a lot of this great information as far as the deepest truth, patterns, creations by just asking awesome questions. Having compassion, caring. And again, to recap, because I saw a couple people join in a little bit late. The first rule was, you're a leader, you have to view conflicts as part of the process of creating legendary relationships. It's not about avoiding conflict. By doing that, by avoiding a conflict, well, guess what? Now we can throw in one of our other favorite, a TIY, 101 tool. That's an away pattern. You're avoiding pain. It's an attraction for more pain. It's only going to fester. It's going to grow. It's going to get worse until, so if you have a towards pattern that views conflict as healthy and necessary, and it's an in the 10 moment, it's a intense crisis, the world's testing me, the universe is testing me. I welcome challenge, man. I eat conflicts for breakfast and I love it because I know at the end, because I'm going to be a leader and I'm going to, strengthen this relationship with someone. And man, I just love conflicts. It's not an attraction for conflicts. It's an acknowledgement that, hey, this is all great, not something that you fear or, shy away from or focus on getting less of. You have to own these moments first and foremost. You're not taking the position that most people take, the basis of most arguments, that I'm right and you're wrong. You're practicing kindness. And then do unto others as they would do unto them. Get in their model of the world. Understand them better. So if you want more of these tools, we're just scratching the surface here. I gave you 3 things. You saw a glimpse of the 6-step model. This is something we go in depth in our leadership course, our Black Belt leadership course. I'm actually starting a new round tomorrow. Now, that doesn't mean you can't join in. It just means we're going to be starting, the process over from going through the system inside and out. So it's an awesome group. We focus a lot on applying this stuff, on case studies, sharing our own, what's going on in our own leadership journeys. It's a really great group. If you want more, schedule a time with me, go to the website, inevitableyou.com. There's a new feature on the site now. You can book a time book 30 minutes with me. I'd love to meet with you, ask any questions that you have. I'll give you all the details. Of course, one-on-one coaching, our bread and butter, always available. And then on a more self-paced kind of thing, we have the Live Life by Design course that's taking you through this process of upgrading your mental software. Starts with the model of the world, understanding who old you is, taking you all the way up to greatest version of you. It's an amazing course. You're going to have an awesome experience just doing that alone. But I know a lot of people, that's a challenging thing to do, and they want more a support of a group, just like we have going here with these webinars and calls. So that's $497 lifetime access. And again, I would love to talk with you if you have any more questions.